we're just going to talk about it right now. We had the main event picture for SummerSlam announced. Basically, Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns arguing up, and Brock Lesnar's there, and Samoa Joe's making the argument that he is the one who deserves the Universal title, but Roman Reigns was out there first, and he's like, no, I do. And then Samoa Joe's like, you lost last night. And then Roman Reigns is like, you lost last night. This segment was so good, not because of Roman Reigns, because Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar on the mic is usually a pretty honest guy. Like, he's not one who scripts himself. I honestly don't believe that anyone goes up to him and goes, Brock, you have to say this. Like, he just says obviously. Like, oh shit. And he's like, oh, you suck. And then he tells Roman Reigns, you don't deserve shit. And I was like, oh yeah. Because like he just felt it. Because apparently Brock Lesnar was very happy with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's performance, which it was brutal. It was pretty good. It wasn't all we had hoped for, but it was great, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought like we said before, I thought it was a little short, but, and I mean, I know you're like, oh, you know, WWE doesn't, or Brock Lesnar doesn't work long matches. Yeah, but if he did work one long match here, it would have blown us away, and we would have been like, oh my God, that was awesome. But we're not sitting here saying that, unfortunately.
I think it would have been longer if, you know, that stuff with Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman wasn't so long. I mean, that match didn't start until almost 11 o'clock.
Yeah, but you feel like, I don't know, if maybe
there was a weird fucking match between Heath Slater and Kurt Hawkins. What? They didn't even show the ending.
Apparently he won with a Canadian Destroyer off the top rope.
I don't even know what
Kurt
that
Hawkins
is.
said.
I don't even know what that is.
It's an indie move. Like, before the super kick became the indie move, that was the move.
Super kick isn't even an indie move. It's Shawn Michaels' move. I don't want to hear anybody say that.
Well, Shawn Michaels did it as like a finisher.
Oh, so indies just do it whenever they want.
Well, I mean, now people in WWE do it. Like Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, I don't know, bunch of people. They all use it now.
Yeah, well, I don't watch the indies because I'm not a loser, and I'm kidding. Totally kidding.
I don't really watch indies either. I don't know if New Japan counts. Maybe it's an indie over here, but
I'm a WWE fan more than I'm a wrestling fan, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know. Maybe I just don't have time. Maybe I just don't care. Maybe I'm watching other stuff. Who knows?
Yeah. Apparently, though, New Japan wants to sell out a 22,000 seat arena next year for their American G1.
I think that's possible.
I think that's what Raw and SmackDown does. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
But Raw and SmackDown do it every week. So I mean, I hope people aren't like, "Whoa, they're doing the same numbers as them. That means they're just as good." I'm like, no, but this was a big once in a year deal for them, not once a week. Okay, so don't say that.
Right. By the way, on WWE Shop, it's filled with
WWE fidget spinners.
No, on clearance, it's just filled with Enzo and Cass merch.
Oh, it's so sad.
Also,
what about when they come back? They're gonna have to, you know. Do you not believe that they'll ever come back?
I don't know.
I hope they do eventually, but I don't know. What's Enzo gonna do?
Be partners with Big Show.
I don't know.
By the way, the Fight Owens Fight Blu-ray is only $15. It's pretty good. It's pretty decent.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy a DVD only because that stuff just ends up on the network, kind of. Anyways, eventually the footage shows up, so I'm not too worried about it.
This is just a talking point. Anyways, yeah.
Samoa Joe, whenever he said, "You keep your eyes on me," everybody was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, that was good. It was really good.
So, whenever Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns have their match, my assumption and hope is that Braun Strowman interferes. And they have a fatal 4-way at SummerSlam. I think that would be legit.
That would be amazing.
It'd be a big deal.
It would be. Yeah. You know, like the whole thing with Roman Reigns coming out and being smug and stuff. And
by the way, Roman Reigns did feel irrelevant in this stuff. Like, once Samoa Joe came out, he was just kind of standing there, and I was like, this is like very representative and symbolic of how most people feel about how he is in just the storylines in general.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I mean, think about it this way though. Like, do you think when they decided to do Samoa Joe versus Samoa Joe versus Brock at Great Balls of Fire, like the second they decided that, do you think they pictured Samoa Joe being like this relevant at this point?
I assume this is all the setup for it, so I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
I mean,
See,
they do these things on purpose.
True. Although I don't know, because he wasn't really doing much, and then he won the Fatal 5-Way, and now he's like, he's at like the top of the show, and I feel like, sure, like, you know, they put him up there, but I feel like he's been knocking it out of the park with like segments and stuff. And
Segments definitely, and the Coquina Clutch has become a big deal.
Yeah, I'm really starting to you know, like
Starting to care for him a lot is a big deal.
Exactly, and I'm starting to think more that his promos and those segments really helped him get to where he is too. Like, it wasn't just the booking; like, they're confident in him.
No, I think what he's done himself. Like, sometimes booking can only go so far. You gotta carry yourself a little bit.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna say it did have something to do with it. I agree, and I'm happy because Samoa Joe's a big deal.
He's big.
He's big. Get it? Because he's big. But I would love to see that Braun or Samoa Joe possibly winning the title at Universal Slam, winning the summer title. Didn't mean to do that. Do you think Roman Reigns wins that match? You thought he would win the ambulance match. I didn't think he would.
A Fatal 4-Way, I think Samoa Joe wins.
I would really think that Braun Strowman would win.
I think just Samoa Joe would win though, because he lost to Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire, and like this would be him getting like his win back.
Yeah, I think that Fatal 4-Way too is the best way to keep Brock not looking like he lost one-on-one. Which is what they did with WrestleMania 31. So I mean, that's keeping with character for Brock. Making sure he doesn't lose clean ever. Unless it's Goldberg. He's the only person who's beat him clean since his comeback, really, honestly. But if that's how they set up for SummerSlam, I'll be a happy boy. Would that main event, or would the Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal again main event?
Probably the Fatal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that.
Jinder.
Jinder's not main eventing over Brock Lesnar, unless it's Jinder versus Brock Lesnar.
Oh my God. That'd be so bad.
By the way, there was a sign at Great Balls of Fire that said Brock fears
the Maharaja. Yeah.
And I was like, man, that is so right.
He does. He does.
He probably doesn't even know.
I don't think he doesn't know who Jinder Mahal is. I guarantee it. I guarantee he does not care at all about whatever happens on SmackDown. Maybe he'll be like, who's that guy holding the belt? He'll be at SummerSlam, like, who is that guy? I don't know who that guy is. Well, I don't care that much. Because Brock Lesnar just seems like a guy who's very hands-off about his job. He just, I'm here right now. Okay, bye-bye.
He's earned it. I mean, he's an incredible athlete. He doesn't need to.
I think, to an extent, if you're going to have like the role of being world champ, you got to at least care about the other talent a little bit, because you set an example for the rest.
He cares about the people he works with.
Oh, you don't know that.
Samoa Joe. Well, not Dean Ambrose, but Samoa Joe.
Dean Ambrose, the guy who won the title a few months later. He didn't care about him. But
I don't know.
that's over for that. So we had the Mizzies